All right, Vestas, you know what we come back here for on Tony Talks Vested Up Compelling Sports Edge. And yes, they have 5 weeks before the Cleveland Browns come back. And now we are going to pivot. We're still going to report. I'm still going to report on the Shedeur Sanders and the Cleveland Browns. And the Cleveland Browns. Oh, here we go. Quarterback competition. But you also know, I'm going to be talking highly about this case right here. Let me come to the stage. So, hey, but the first thing we're going to talk about is the Big 12. Yes, the Big 12, the same conference that Deion Sanders and the University of Colorado is currently in. The Big 12 files a lawsuit against Texas Tech. They said they're not playing over the Brandon Sorsby injunction, that is. And I'm going to say this: what is going on in the United States courts and the legal system? Sports gambling is a major issue. And also, you already know I'm coming again with this banger because this platform is for Shedeur Sanders, Karmelo Anthony, and any student athlete that's going to need the community to ride with them on YouTube. And guess what? Whoo! Y'all know, I can't even get this out, y'all. There was another podcast today by the name of Lakeisha TV. She had a surprise witness on her show today. And y'all, some of the clips that I got from her video, and I'm going to give her all credit. You know how I do it. Y'all, some of the information that came out from the surprise witness named Dwayne. So we're going to go over that. So I'm going to cover the latest news regarding the Karmelo Anthony guilty verdict. And y'all, did y'all know Karmelo Anthony had 21 scholarships waiting on him? 21 scholarships waiting on him. So let's start. First, let's go ahead and cover this right here. Regarding what? Let's see here. I'm going to bring this up to the stage. Here we go. Now, trust me, in 5 weeks, we're going to go back to hopefully in 5 weeks, the young man will be out of prison. Everything will be appealed. And if anything, worst case scenario, we will be preparing, or him and his family will be preparing for a retrial. But in 5 weeks, we will get back to our normal topics, plus the Karmelo Anthony case and any updates that come out of that. But just a reminder, Shedeur Sanders in mandatory minicamp on that first day that he had all the first team reps, 83% completion rate, and he called that an off date. So trust me, next July, this time right here, we will be back on the normal schedule. Okay, let me go ahead and talk. Okay, here we go. Now, when I saw, so did y'all see that live when it came out regarding the Brandon Sorsby injunction, and Coach Dre was in the room? And I said, hey, Coach Dre, how do you think Colorado Coach Prime is going to respond to this type of information? And basically what he said is 2 things. He said that the NCAA needs to get a handle of this, because based off that injunction, Brandon Sorsby will be allowed to come back, sit on the sidelines, suspended for 2 games, and play the rest of the season. And then I went over the article that said that so many schools was pulling out against Texas Tech. Well, and then I asked him, well, what does he think Coach Prime would say? Of course, he couldn't ask for Coach Prime, but of course, he said that he probably would frown upon this, right? I don't want to put words in Coach Dre's mouth. But guess what? This is official. Let me go and share my screen real quick. This is official. This is what Coach Prime has said. And this is the article. Let me make sure this pop up on the screen. Let's see here. Let me see here. There we go. Oh, no. Hold on, y'all. This is exactly what how Coach Prime feels about this Sorsby gambling controversy. Deion Sanders make his feelings crystal clear on the Texas Tech's Brendan Sorsby gambling controversy. All right, okay, I see it on the screen. The Buffalo's head coach joins a growing list of notable individuals to address the biggest issue in collegiate athletics. There are a few things that people almost universally agree on nowadays, and that includes the sports world as well. Let's go down here. Let's find his quote. Somebody gambling on a sport they're playing, you don't think something's wrong with that. The Associated Press quotes Sanders as saying before the latest Sorsby court ruling. Just say that to yourself. This guy on my team is gambling on the sport. In the competition that we're about to go out there, something's wrong with that. Sanders questioned the effectively rhetoric because of course it's wrong. There's been one overriding rule, the violation of which no sport has nor has ever tolerated, that gambling's on your own team. I'm going to say this, based off the number of bets that he's placed since he was a freshman on Texas Tech, and knowing that the amount of money that he betted on, he just didn't bet on his school. I'm sorry, NCAA. If you think that is the case, that is definitely wrong. He betted on his team, the other team, this team, and that team. So it's not just one team, okay? One of the foundational pillars of sports is the belief that the results on the field are a product of hard work, fair play by the contestants. Right, you erode that foundation when you turn a blind eye to those that violate the rule and put the integrity of the sport at risk. This is what I'm saying also about the NFL, but we're going to come back to that. Okay, we're going to come back to that at another later date. And letting such a rule breaker off the hook, which is Brendan Sorsby, right, for the reason of rehabilitation while implementing a penalty of missing two glorified expedition games, does nothing to deter such issues in the future. Listen, like I've been stressing, if they let this young man play in this year, next year, how many more years he has in his collegiate, and hopefully his collegiate career is over after this, because he even admitted to gambling in the sport. Y'all, it's over, y'all. If they let him come back and play, it's over. That means any other player can come back. Change the screen here. Now, you're not going to believe, and I hope I haven't closed it. If I closed it, oh well. We're going to keep moving on. Here we go. This is what I want to share with you. Now, you know the injunction was approved last week, right? Well, guess what the NCAA has come back with? Close this right here. Okay, the Big 12 has filed a landmark federal, here we go, y'all, another federal lawsuit that we're going to keep track of. You know how we do it over here at Tony Talks Vested Up. The Texas Attorney General and several school officials. The unprecedented legal action to protect the conference right to enforce its internal bylaws, specifically its ability to punish Texas Tech if the school plays the quarterback Benson Sorsby this season. Y'all, I told you this. The only way that the only way that the NCAA could get a handle on this, even though Texas, and I don't know what's going on with the laws and the courts in Texas, but once again, Texas is in the news again. I don't know what the issue is, but they think that they can tell the NCAA what to do with the players on the active rosters in that conference. You know what NCAA did? They said, I raise you one, I bet you, right? So keep going. Here we go. Sorsby, who admitted that to betting thousands of dollars on college games, including games he was involved in while at Indiana, and you can't tell me he didn't do it at Texas Tech or Cincinnati, but I'm gonna keep reading, was declared permanently ineligible by the NCAA. However, y'all look at this. A Texas state court issued a temporary injunction allowing him to play for Texas Tech this fall. Listen, now y'all know when I warm up the room, I like to go to Debo and Joe. There was Debo and Joe did such a significant rendition and commentary on this injunction today, but it has so much profanity in it, I couldn't even chop it up to even save the content. So if you want to go out there, go to Debo and Joe channel and watch what they said about this. But Debo basically wanted to tear up that studio by the way that he was offended about Texas Tech. They're fighting against the NCAA regarding this injunction. Now, Tony Tugs vested up. Why are they fighting the NCAA in allowing this quarterback to play? Your reason being, because Brendan Sorsby is their Tom Brady, and they don't want to lose this season. So Texas Tech is going to say, okay, we want Sorsby to play. A court has said that he can play -2 games. He's going to play this year. I don't care what the NCAA says. NCAA says, oh, no, you're going to follow my rules. So actually, the Big 12 has filed a federal lawsuit against Texas Tech. All right, here you go. The core issue, right? I read that already. The lawsuit purpose. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton warned the Big 12 that any conference punishment, y'all, this thing has got to the AG in Texas. This is how big this is now. The Attorney General, right, has warned the Big 12, the whole entire conference, that any conference punishments against Texas Tech would trigger antitrust lawsuits and substantial financial liability. In response, the Big 12 has filed a federal lawsuit seeking, and then it goes into some more. So y'all, this, I cannot, I will follow this case right here, because do you see, and I'm going to say this again, what if this was Shedeur Sanders? What if this was Shedeur Sanders? Would Colorado be able to say, NCAA, I'm not going to abide by none of your rules? I think not. I'll go ahead and answer that question for you. I think not. Now, I also want to see what ESPN had said regarding the case, and then we're going to go ahead and move into this information I got here. Let me go ahead and close this window here. Ooh. I got to get into that interview. All right, here we go. All right, this comes from ESPN. Let me go and share this window right here. Here we go. And then we're going to move into that case. It says the Big 12 files suit versus Texas Tech AG over Brandon Sorsby. Y'all, Texas is so corrupt. Texas, and I'm going to say this allegedly, my opinion. Texas is so corrupt that Texas Attorney General is going to fight the Big 12 over their own rules, y'all. Please understand what's going on. The Texas Attorney General is going to fight the Big 12 over the NCAA rules and their own bylaws, y'all. They got the bylaws listed in here. All right, that's pulled up. In an ongoing saga over the future Texas Tech quarterback, Brendan Sorsby. Hold on. I want y'all to hear this right here. Hold on. In an ongoing saga over the future Texas Tech quarterback, Brendan Sorsby, the Big 12 has made it clear that it does not want to be pushed around in the court, y'all. This This is about to be big. We're following the Brian Flores case. We're going to follow the Texas Tech Big 12 versus Texas 12, Big 12 versus Texas Tech case. And of course, we're going to follow the Karmelo Anthony case. Right. Look, the league filed a federal lawsuit. Y'all, federal lawsuit. They're taking it out of the state's hand, Texas state hands, and basically they're finna go to a higher court, a federal court, to get some type of favor in regarding this case. The league filed a federal lawsuit Monday in North District of Texas. Seeking both a declaration judgment and injunction relief to allow the league the authority to use its bylaw to potentially punish Sorsby. The filing seeks a declaration judgment that the First Amendment protects the conference right to invoke its authority under its own bylaws to sanction Texas Tech related to its handling of the sports betting activity discussed in this complaint, including if TTU, Texas Tech University, feels a student athlete in Big 12 competition who has engaged in collegiate betting activity. Y'all, this is massive. This is massive. And as you know, I pointed out, if this is approved, if he is approved to continue to play, that means when he play against Colorado on October the 3rd of this year, who knows what the outcome is going to be. You know, Coach Prime doesn't want any negative attention regarding that game. Oh my gosh. And guess what, y'all? You cannot tell me based off this ruling now, there are other players across all conferences who may now feel that for 2026, the gloves is off. They may feel that any and everybody can bet in these games this year in 2026. We're talking about across the country. I think the fire has already started. All of these collegiate athletes, football players, basketball players, everybody now can be secretly betting this year, especially if this lawsuit is not resolved before the season starts in September, y'all. In September. This thing is going to flourish. I'm going to read one more comment and then we're going to move on. I'm going to go to the comments and then we're going to go into the Anthony updates, right? The move is a legal counter to a letter from the Texas Attorney General last week, which warned that any sanctions imposed by the Big 12 would be unlawful and countered by legal action. The nerve of the Texas Attorney General. The Texas Attorney General, matter of fact, he needs to be worried about the case in Collin County versus this right here, because he has no jurisdiction over the Big 12 own bylaws. He's focused on the wrong case that we're about to jump into. Okay, Texas, you need help. The move is a legal counter to the letter from a Texas Attorney General last week, which warned that any sanctions imposed by the Big 12 would be unlawful and countered by legal action. The Texas Attorney General, Kenneth Paxton, is listed as a defendant along with the Chancellor, President, and Athletic Director of Texas Tech, y'all. There it is. Let me go ahead to the comments. And we're about to move forward, y'all. Dion, Coach Prime said on a gambling scandal, something's wrong. And we all know that by default. Okay, here we go. Let's see who's in the room already. What's up, 420? Investors, and trust me, thank you for staying with me because I have pivot. We still going to report on the Cleveland Browns, but you already know I'm going to add segments to this lineup. We already know that. What's up, Mita Lee? What you saying? Good evening, Tony Talks Investors. Give me my fire. What's up, Sherrod? That's what I'm talking about. What's up, Justine? Cut him up, Chucky. Cut him up. I feel the same way Coach Prime feels. Everybody else was suspended indefinitely. Right. What makes him so different? 420 Texas Tech says that Sorsby is their Tom Brady, and they cannot lose this season. They can't go without him. That is not true. That is the true intent of purpose of having a quarterback 2, a quarterback 3, and a potential quarterback 4. So it's the first quarterback goes down. That is the purpose of having other backups. Texas Tech this year, and listen, you don't want the NCAA, big NCAA to come bring that hammer. And Texas, listen, you don't want the NCAA. Right now, they're letting Big 12 handle this, right, at that level. But you don't want the NCAA to come in and say, you know what, Texas Tech, since we're in litigations, or you in litigations against the Big 12, we're just going to remove your whole entire season off the schedule. Now, it's the Texas Attorney General, Kenneth Paxton. Is he ready to go against the big NCAA? I don't think so. So Texas Tech is acting up with the help of Texas Attorney General, and the NCAA is going to come in. If this thing is not resolved before the season starts in September, early September, I wouldn't be surprised if they come in and say, you know what, Texas Tech, you have forfeited your whole entire season if you don't get him off of your active roster. It is what it is. Let's keep going. What's up, SDP 1208? Yes. Slim 081. What you say, Sharon? Same punishment that happened to Pete Rose and the other gamblers that should have. Right. This guy is not. After a few therapy sessions. Right. You got it, Sharon. What's up, Lady E? How you doing? Salute, run, tell that. What's up, Mel? Oh, yeah, y'all back. I'm trying to tell you, hey, Miss 20 investors, happy Monday. Happy Monday, y'all. We got to get into some things. Texas Hold'em. Listen, they finna hold that L. Texas is about to hold that L. Hey, I want to say this to the Texas, and no laughter, no jokes. Texas Attorney General Kenneth Paxton, why you're not over there in Frisco, Denton County, Collin County, focusing on something that really matters between life and liberty, regarding a young man by the name of Karmelo Anthony. You're focusing on the wrong football player, but to each his own. You also need to be investigated, because it ain't no way that you should be interfering in the Big 12 bylaws. And you're threatening them? You're threatening the Big 12? Y'all, I gotta follow this. Y'all know I gotta follow this. Hold on. That's the wrong glasses. Hold on. Hey, what's up? How you doing, Terry Jackson? What's going on, Terry Jackson? Let's see. What's up? Hey, how you doing, You already know, Shy. How you doing, Shy? What you say? He shouldn't even be allowed to enter the. Listen, if the NFL allows this young man to enter the draft next year, it's all over for them too. We already know that the NFL is in the bed with the devil, but if they let this happen, that means don't get mad when the devil comes into the locker room and the players are betting on the sideline. I'm just saying, that's a warning. That is a warning, okay? Paxton, Amber, you know what I want to bring? You know what I want to do, right? You know what I want to do. Because I know somebody lives in Texas and Dallas. Let me see here. Paxton's a crook. They tried to impeach him last year. They need to impeach him now. They are all MAGA. They stick together no matter what. Lord, law be damned. Look at the y'all trying to get me flagged. Y'all trying to get me flagged. All right, y'all. Let's go into this right here. Let's go into the main topic. Lord have mercy. Let's go to the main topic. Oh, hold on. Is that the? Oh, that's it. Oh, hold on. This is it. This is the main topic. Hey, so all of you investors, if you not have been watching, last week I started including segments on the Karmelo Anthony situation that's going down in Texas. I've covered that case in my last few lives, and tonight I think it's going to be my third or fourth installment. I think this is my fourth installment. So I know that this channel is based on Shedeur Sanders. I know it is, but I want to remind you of what I said when you found this channel. Hold on. Let's see here. Hold it, Miss Justiva membership. Hey, I'm trying to stay on the YouTube streets as long as I can. Hey, if I go away, that means they gonna start picking all of us off. I'm trying to stay on YouTube. I'm trying to be a representative for the community. But let me go on and play this right here. Let me go ahead and play this right here as a reminder, and then we're gonna jump into the case. Because what Keisha did today, that video was over 2 hours and 30 minutes long. And the first 53 minutes, she's waiting on the guest. So she's covering, she's giving her commentary on the actual case itself, before and after the case. And y'all, she brought up old news clippings of Hunter Metcalf actually saying some things regarding the incident that day that has never been brought up before, y'all. You can tell that this young man is lying. And based off some of this evidence here, y'all remember that clip I played you last night that was kind of hard to hear, where the older white lady was saying that based off the video she saw, he failed onto the object that went into his body. And y'all, believe it or not, I got the clip. So make sure after this video, and I'm not going to keep you long because I definitely want you to go over there and support her channel. Please go over there and support her channel in that video. Y'all, how come Metcalf, Austin Metcalf, yes, when the paramedics got there, he was not breathing, but they worked on him long enough behind the stadium, and guess what? He actually came back to life. He did not pass away at the stadium. He didn't even pass away being transported from the stadium to the hospital. This is what the witness is stating, okay? He passed away once he got to the hospital. And what they're not telling you, and what I haven't heard no one say, because we know the knife was only like a 2-inch, y'all. But guess what? Did y'all know, or have y'all heard any outlet say that Austin Metcalf had health problems with his heart? So what if after the altercation that he starred, I haven't seen the video, so I gotta say allegedly, what if because of the altercation that he starred, and after he because they said even after he was punctured with the 2-inch Gerber knife or whatever the case, he was able to move. He was moving, and it wasn't until he realized that he was stuck that's probably when he went into shock and he failed. He kind of panicked. Y'all gotta. I'm gonna play this. Let me go ahead. Let me play this. Hold on. I see some more comments pop up. Let me go and get this right. Here. Let's see here. I'm just hoping that they are not trying to bait this into a race war. I'm not participating. I feel you on that. Okay, then. Okay. Let's see here. Listen, I really think, and y'all, I got this clip. Y'all remember the rant that the Metcalf family, the dad did, y'all? Do y'all remember the rant that he went into? And Amber, I think the Metcalfs is definitely, and his supporters is definitely trying to make this into a race war. That's what I'm saying. The National Guard needs to be, especially if the appeal, let's say, is approved this week or next week, and he walks out, and let's say the case is either thrown out based off the evidence, or there's a second trial, Texas National Guard needs to be on standby. Because, how you doing, DMX? This is already a race war. Oh, that's how you feel? See, hold on, y'all. Let them breathe. That is a lie. And you know it's a lie. There is no way that the Karmelo supporters has created a race war. And even you know that. Not no one here on Tony Talks, Vested Up, Compelling Sports Edge, or no one that I've seen have called that community out of the names the way that Jeff Metcalf has called the black community all the names. And do y'all know why? This is where I was going, y'all. And this is where I was going. The reason why Metcalf got so mad, because I got that clip. Do y'all know? And the witness also said in his whole entire life, he has never seen a defendant get found guilty and sentenced in the same day. Remember, I went over that. Remember, AI said it has never happened before. Even AI said it's very unusual. I pulled that up last night. Well, listen, the reason why Metcalf got so upset in that 3-hour video and he started slanging the racial undertones and just started talking despicable about the family, you know what upset him, y'all? Do y'all know what upset him? Because when they put that young man on that bus for transport, he was going to, I think it's called Byrd jail. And guess who was the head guy over the jail? The you could tell the Warden, whatever his title is. Guess what his last name was? Metcalf. So when everybody found out, including Dwayne and some other people that was working behind the scenes, when they found out that Karmelo Anthony got diverted and rerouted to the prison that he is now, the medium security facility, y'all, that was sent Metcalf off in that live interview he was doing when he found out that Karmelo Anthony was not going to his brother's law, his cousin, or his brother's or niece, or uncle. When he found out that Karmelo Anthony was not going to that prison, that's when he went crazy on that live. But he couldn't say that. He couldn't, y'all. The information that is coming out is shocking. So when I say that Texas National Guard needs to be on standby when this appeal is overturned, this is exactly what I mean. And hold on, let me go to play this right here. Let me go ahead and play this right here. Hold on. He made a mistake and has to deal with the consequences. You know what? Yes, Austin Metcalf made a mistake along with his brother Hunter Metcalf, along with the other students that jumped Karmelo Anthony, because it's something in the Texas law. It's called commission of a felony. When they jumped that young man and somebody left, how can I say, was unalive? Yeah, those students would be held accountable also. Yes, they would be held accountable also. Commission of a felony. You're right. Hunter Metcalf. Did you know, DMX, Bravo? Do you know that he didn't even go to court and testify? He didn't even testify against his brother. Well, for his brother. Ironic, huh? Spurs fans, I see just many nasty Austin. Right. What does the autopsy report? We can't get it, Justine. I'm asking the same thing. Did he die of a heart attack or did he die over the jab. I want to know the same thing. What does the autopsy report? Why they're not telling us that he passed away from the stab versus the heart condition, y'all? I got that clip. Don't go there. I feel awful for Karmelo. He better, okay. Okay, DMX. Okay, tell us who you are. But I don't agree with your first comment. A race war is not being started by Karmelo Anthony supporter. That is not true. The only thing that we want is a fair trial. Karmelo Anthony, he said the reason what he did at that school event was in self-defense. In self-defense. And him being charged over first-degree murder, ain't no way. Ain't no way. The DA would have had show proof of intent and premeditation, and none of that was solidified. None of that was solidified. I never seen that either. Right. To be fair, Metcalf was trying to come together with the well. Listen. I know what you're referring of, DMX Bravo, because last year I saw when the family last year was trying to have a press conference and he walked up there in the sling because his arm was broken allegedly by one of the twins. I don't know. I wasn't there. But if you were trying to come together with the family last year, what happened? What happened for a year later? You say some of the most despicable things about the Anthony family. Where is that? And y'all, guess what? It seemed like the community is handling one of our own. I'm hearing that, y'all remember Charleston White? Why they're saying in Texas, the community has found out where he is and protesting outside of his hotel. Yeah, he got his wake-up call because I said, keep your character or your persona. This is not the time to be Charleston White. We don't need your persona out at this time. The time is too sensitive. I heard that Charleston White is being held in his hotel room because they're protesting outside of his building. To be fair, Metcalf was only okay. Speak the truth, Tony. Thank you so much. Speak it, Tony. Thank you so much. DMX don't believe the lies and stop repeating the lies. You darn well know the man reached. Gotcha. All right, y'all. Here we go. Hit the clips. And hit the clips. And since I'm pretty sure it could be potential trolls in the room, you know who I'm talking about just by her voice. I'm not going to show her clip. I don't want them to go over there and try to do anything to that video. I don't need that video to come down. So after this live, I'm going to keep it short so you can go over there and watch the video itself. If you have premium and is able to download that video just in case temporarily she has to fight to keep the video up. But here is clips. I got 3 clips because I'm going to respect the content creator. But thank you so much, LLTV. LLTV, you're going to know her by her voice. And let me begin. Now, the first one is about 11 minutes. So trust me, it's some bombshells. I got 11-minute one, a 9-minute one, a 4-minute one, and then just really a minute one, y'all. So just bear with me, bear with me. Bear with me. Here we go.
And so since we know that, and that day, once he threw that punch, they all start beating on Karmelo. Karmelo disappeared at the bottom because they're all on him and they're hitting each other.
Oh, so let me set the stage. So the gentleman that is talking, he sent her episode. So she says, LL says that she heard of this man a year ago. And remember when the father said, they was telling me and my wife not to talk to certain people. Well, they're referring to the gentleman by the name of Dwayne Wink Wink. Okay. So he's the one's talking. And he also sent proof to LL showing where he actually filed a Freedom of Information Act and showing proof from the court system that he saw the evidence, because I guess you have to sign, make an appointment to go see the information. And he showed receipt where they allowed him to see the evidence and the video. and the video, and he also provided her receipt of where the court had closed his request, meaning that he saw what he needed to see before the video got suppressed. And then I don't know if I clipped this up, but the video is no longer able to get access to it. And then come to find out, I think he said that it was actually suppressed over a year ago because so many people started requesting to see the video, and that's when they noticed, there's a lot of more people expected following this case. Y'all remember what I discussed? They thought that we were going to go away after the draft. It seemed like a lot of us did not go away after the draft. We started going to Collins County or Frisco or Denton because Frisco is part of Denton. Too many people started going to the courthouse on the approved appointment times requesting the same information. So that set up alarms and antennas to suppress the video. Now they're actually fighting to get the video open back up to the public. So the man that's speaking, he has proven evidence that he's seen the video, and he actually knows more than he knows more than the average person. So besides seeing the video, he actually knows some of the information going on behind the scene, y'all. So I've set the stage. Now I'm going to go continue to play this right here.
Hitting him, Karmelo actually gets away. That's what people don't understand. He got away. He backed out. Austin grabbed his hoodie and pulled him back. And on the video, you can see his gray hoodie stretched out and him coming back. And you can see the look on his face. It was despair because he thought he got away from the beating, and they got him. And when they brought him back in, Austin grabbed him and put him in a headlock. That's why you can see the ligature marks on the bottom of his neck. And that's when one of the kids, I believe, I don't know which one it was, so I won't call their name, but one of the kids actually testified to it in trial and said that they saw that Karmelo had to reach behind his back and he grabbed what was already open. And when that happened, as the older white lady said, and I ain't gonna say her name, but she was sitting up on our canopy for a few days after she came from inside the courtroom. She told everybody that it was clear from what she saw that he fell on it. And that's something that we've contended, that Karmelo may have reached for something. He may have gotten it, but he definitely fell on it because the force that's needed to cause the damage that they're saying that happened, you have to have a lot of pressure. And Karmelo sitting down could never muster up that type of pressure. So he had to fall on it.
That's good.
And so, yeah.
Wait, let's stay there because, so what you're saying is, and I've heard this before, he never stood up.
He never stood up. Karmelo never stood up.
When he tried to get away, he was in a mood. When he got away the first time, he was kind of like if you know defensive backs in football, they're crouched down. And so just imagine he's sitting and he's crouched down trying to get away and they're pulling him. So he never fully stood up until the second time after he got away, and he ran backwards about 2 or 3 steps up. He looked to his right, and that's where the young man that was filming was sitting or standing with the film moment. And then he looked to his left and took off, and he went down. He fell, and when he fell, that's when they all realized he was gone, because they didn't even know he was gone yet. And when they saw he was gone, they all got up to chase him. He got up and he ran. Even Austin got up to chase him. And Austin realized then that he was hit, that something had happened.
Listen, y'all.
And that's when he came down the steps and he fell down. But Hunter and the other 2 boys started chasing him, but Karmelo was so fast that he got away so quick and got to the coach that they just stopped and pointed.
Right.
And that's when Hunter said he whipped his head around.
So did y'all hear that, y'all? Based off the video that he saw, it was Karmelo Anthony. He was the first one that actually ran up to the coaches to try to get their attention and tell what just happened to him. Whew. Y'all, why this particular video was not shown in court? Let me keep playing.
And he saw his brother.
You know what? When they said they chased him, I said, no, they was fighting because
Yeah.
what are you chasing them for? If him and Austin is in a fight and he stuck him, what are you chasing him for? You need to get him help. Does that make sense? So when they said I knew that they all jumped him.
Yeah, because they didn't know that they didn't know he got poked yet. They didn't know that he was stabbed. Because they all, including Austin, tried to chase him when they realized, because he got away and they were still fighting. Austin was at the bottom because he had Karmelo in a chokehold. So he just figured that he was loose, so they still hidden. And then all of a sudden, that's when he fell. When he ran away and fell, they heard that fall. And that's when they all looked and like, oh, he getting away. And they all went to chase him. Austin tried, but he realized he was hurt. And so when all that happened, everybody know that they heard Jeff Metcalf and Hunter. Hunter said that he went and gave him aid. He held on to him and kept pressure on his wound and all that. That's a lie. Hunter never got close enough to him. He turned around, whipped his head around. He went to step forward. By that time, the other coaches were coming because Karmelo already told them what was going on.
See?
And so they were coming, and the coaches came. One coach held Hunter. He was screaming. That is true. He was screaming for real. And so since he was screaming, he never, ever got to his brother. Never. And so it's a moment to where if we just go at face value at what we knew before we got the trial, they're saying that Karmelo told them that he shouldn't have put his hands on me. I did it in self-defense. By Frisco PD's own policy.
Y'all, listen to this right here. Listen to this right here. And remember, I've been screaming the phrase commission to a felony in Texas law. Listen to this. And shout out to the content creator. I have already gave you her initials because I know the trolls are in the room and I don't want them to go and try to get this video down. You know exactly who has this voice right here. So shout out to this content creator. Shout out to her. Shout out to her. But listen to what is the definition of a commission of a felony, y'all. Listen, between the TexasTech case with Brandon Sorsby, with this case here, Anthony Karmelo Sincere Anthony versus the state of Texas versus Karmelo Sincere Anthony, and the Brian Flores case, y'all, I'm trying to tell you, by the end of this year, we can go to law school and at least pass one of the courses based off the information that's coming out of these three cases this year. But let me go ahead and play this, y'all. But listen to this here. Listen to this. Listen to this. Listen to this. Fair use, fair use, fair use.
Once a suspect has asserted self-defense, they have to arrest everybody. Take everybody down for questioning.
Yes.
Take their statements, send all the evidence and the statements to the DA's office, and they send it to the grand jury, and you let the grand jury make the decision who's at fault. They never did that. If I tell you they had Karmelo already booked and charged with the murder of Austin Metcalf before Austin Metcalf was even pronounced dead at 10:53 a.m. because they already knew what they wanted. Because when all those officers got to Kirkendall Stadium, they saw their friend's son laying there in this situation. And as the paramedic said, he was purple. And they had to administer blood to him.
Here we go.
And then he perked back up.
Listen.
His color came back. They put him inside of the ambulance, and they were basically working on him as he had a heart condition, not that he was losing blood. And so that's why there was a pause. That's why they took him to the Plano hospital instead of the hospital right by Kirkendall Stadium, because there was no rush. They didn't think they were going to lose him because it wasn't anything grave for the puncture that they had.
Whoa. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Now, I know that medical records cannot be released to the public, right? Based off the HIPAA law, right? But this man right here was actually in the courtroom. So let's just say that medical personnel did testify. Did you hear what he said? Based off the puncture wound, not the wound with the ass, not the stab wound, right? With the puncture wound, they didn't think that this was going to be a major incident that it turned into. That's why I'm thinking now, since he had a heart condition, maybe it was his heart because of the vent and the scuffle and everything. The heart couldn't take the racing. But I'm thinking even in the ambulance and getting him to the hospital, they should have been checking his blood pressure. I almost said something I didn't want to say. I'm not going to say that. I almost said something. But let me continue.
Blood on the scene, and any pictures and photos that we've seen. So we know that this is a moment that it was a setup to protect the friends, and I think it became a moment of revenge for the Metcalfs because that was their favorite child. And the way that Jeff Metcalf looked at his son that day, the next day he did the interview on one of the news stations, and the guy said, "Hey, there's Hunter right now. You want to talk to him?" Jeff, his looks could have taken Hunter out that day, and he said, "No, I don't want to talk to him." And he sat there staring at him, and you could hear the car alarm on the truck, and you could hear the door closed, you could hear the truck start, and Jeff didn't say a word. He was just looking at Hunter like, "You should have been the one." And then all of a sudden he snapped out of it, and he started talking.
Y'all, I need to go find that clip. If that was last year, I need to go back and watch some old news footage showing that altercation or that scenario between the father and Hunter, y'all, because if this is true, well, we already saw a glimpse of the father's demeanor and mindset and what's in his own heart when he did that interview. We don't have to speculate anything on how Jeff Metcalf feels about Karmelo, the Anthony family, and also now Black Americans based off what he said. We don't have to say allegedly or I assume. No, you heard it out of his own mouth of how he spoke about Karmelo, how he spoke about the family, and how he feels about Black Americans. Whew. Let's keep going. And this clip is almost over, y'all.
You know what? You said something. When I was watching the video of the mom, and she said, Hunter called me and said that he had been stabbed, right? Do you know what the mother said? She said when she went to the hospital, so instead of her coming to where they were, she went to the hospital. Do you know what that lady said? He still hadn't made it to the hospital. So I'm sitting there like, what if they let the boy body just lay there? So when you say they didn't think he was going to die, I can relate to that because the mother, I would have to go back and watch the video, but it had been 20, 30 minutes. I don't remember the exact time frame that she said, but she said that when he told her that he had, been stabbed and she knew what hospital, she went to the hospital. She had got to the hospital. They were not even there. So I'm like, just stay there with the boy's body. Maybe if you would have rushed him to the hospital. So when you say they didn't think that he was going to pass away, I believe it, because when I was listening to her, I said, so you mean to tell me you went to the hospital and they hadn't even came there yet?
Yeah, because they brought...
Y'all, the evidence that's about to come out, what he's about to say, you're going to find out why she beat the ambulance to the hospital. She was not at work in a grapevine or wherever she was. She wasn't there, y'all. There's a reason why she beat the ambulance to the hospital. Hold on, y'all.
To the hospital, they didn't code 3 or nothing like that. They took him, and when he got there, he was alive.
See?
When they took him into the room, he was there. He coded after he got to the hospital, and they worked on him, and that's when the doctor came, and he actually called him at 10:53 a.m. The thing about Megan Metcalf, she stated that she was coming from Grapevine, Texas, and anybody in the DFW area know good and well you're not going to get from Grapevine, Texas, in the thick of the rush hour traffic in a storm and make it to Plano in less than 30 minutes. It ain't about to happen. And so the problem with that story is that I know that the Metcalfs both have been called already to the scene because the twins had already been caught messing with other people. I'll put it that way. And so they were already there. And I'll tell you they were already there because we'll go to Hunter's own words. Hunter said that his dad, Jeff Metcalf said that he was called by the coach of the middle school. He was called by the coach of the middle school to come to the school. the coach in the middle school wouldn't even known what was going on because they're teachers.
Mhm.
And that was 9 in the morning, 10 o'clock in the morning. He's got class. However, Hunter said that they were actually at the middle school, is what he said. We know that he did not go in the middle school because they were never signed in, because we got the actual logs of all the people who signed in that day, and it wasn't Hunter there. And so with that being stated, his parents were called toward the school to talk to Hunter and Austin about actually bullying a young lady that went to Emerson. And that's the reason why, if you guys ever had a chance to hear the 911 calls or the dispatch calls from that day, you would hear the actual dispatcher, and you would hear the police saying that, hey, we're looking for the suspect from Emerson. We have the suspect from Emerson.
And guess who the suspects was? One of the twins. So I'm assuming, because I've seen a lot of school campuses, you have the elementary school, the middle school, and the high school within walking distance or very short driving distance in like a campus. The reason why I know that, because my high school, local high school, even in my rural county, the schools is set up like that. You got the elementary school, across the street in walking distance is the middle school, and in walking distance is the high school. So y'all, why nobody's saying this? Remember, now that the case is over, you got cheerleaders coming out and everybody is saying that they were bullied by the twins, or they have witnessed the twins being bullied. Well, this is what this guy, Dwayne, says. Now, I don't know if it's his real name, probably not his real name. His last name was not publicized, but this is what he's saying. The Metcalf brothers was already somebody had already called the police on the Metcalf brothers that morning because they was bullying a girl from the Emerson High School. Why is this not general information? Let me keep going.
He kept saying that because earlier the situation is that Austin and Hunter and their friends were bullying this one girl. She was the only girl there from Emerson for the track meet.
Thank you.
And other kids made them leave them alone.
Thank you.
So they went to the middle school because that's the coach that used to be there. He called Jeff. Megan came there, and they were all there. Because I'm going to tell you the reason why we know. Hunter stated in his own statement on TV that he called his phone, and his mom answered. And he told his mom what happened at the stadium. And his mom said she turned around and went straight to the hospital. That's how she beat the ambulance, because she was on her way from the middle school, going on her way to work out there to the spot where the pizzeria is at, and on Grapevine, and she turned around and she beat them to the hospital. That's how that happened. Yeah, and so these are things that we know from advocating, investigating.
I know you're not lying about that, because when she said that, I said, damn. So they just done left the boy there for hours? Like, I'm trying to put it. So it makes sense. You know what that lady said? That lady said she was coming from work. That lady lied. She said lied. Coming from work.
Why everybody lying?
Out in, is it Grapevine?
Grapevine, yeah.
That's what she said. And then so she said that knowing that she was already in the area because she had left the
Correct. Correct. And Jeff said that he was coming from home because he lives 5 minutes away. No, you were already on the scene.
He was lying
Jeff
too.
Was actually in there when they were talking to Hunter and the EP dude, and Hunter was.
So y'all, that 11 minutes, and I got you, Lady E, I got you. And for all of the new viewers coming to the room, investors coming into the room, if you know that voice, you know her voice. I don't want to show her video or her face because I know that it has been confirmed that Trolls is in the room. So I don't want to put her video out here because I don't want them to try to go to her channel and bring down the video. But if you know her voice, you know her voice. But I would say, I'm going to get you the name, but just hold one. Now let me go to the next video. Now, isn't that ironic that the parents was called to the school campus that morning because their sons had been bullying somebody who somebody had to call the police, and on the Twins that morning. Golly, it's hard for me to find my words because why are we just hearing about this now? Why nobody is bringing up that the boys were known bullies? Let me keep going. The next video is 9 minutes. Then they got a 4-minute video, then a 1-minute video. Then I'll let y'all go, Vestas. I'll let you go, Vestas. Let you go, Vestas.
At some time down, like,
Yeah.
that is a lot. So for people calling these people weak and saying all of this, I wouldn't know if I was going or coming. Do you understand what I'm saying? So,
Correct.
whatever they doing, my hat goes out to them because that is a lot to deal with. You know what I mean?
It is.
Well, at least he can go see him. Listen, whenever you get in jail, you don't know if you're going to wake up tomorrow. So please stop saying that. Please stop saying that. So,
y'all, I think this is the bombshell. I think now this is the bombshell about why Jeff Metcalf got upset in that 3-hour video when he realized that Karmelo Anthony was not heading to the jail where I forgot, it almost came to my mind. The warden has the same last name of him. I don't know if it's his brother or uncle or distant cousin or whoever he is but y'all listen to this. Y'all, the grave that they dug for Karmelo Anthony, they're all about to fall into that grave. Y'all listen to this. Listen to how God worked behind the scenes for this young man. And for anybody saying that this young man appeal is not going to get expedited, because I went over that last night. I went over the conditions where an appeal can get expedited. I went over that last night. You cannot tell me God is not working in favor of this young man. Listen to this here, y'all. Listen to this, because he was heading to that facility. He was heading to that facility and it got diverted. Listen to this, y'all.
When people say, oh, well, I shouldn't say people say, it was just one idiot, but saying that the father is weak.
Okay, thank you. First cousin.
Like,
thank you.
Really
Got you.
I think people don't understand that he has a 35-year sentence. And TDCJ in Texas, the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, when you have a crime which they think that they feel is aggravated, and murder is aggravated, you have to do half. That means he had to do 17 and a half years before he's eligible for parole to leave. And so people don't get that. His family is dealing with that moment. Then, when we have to remember, in the history of TDCJ, and I'm going to have to go and refine this in my mind, but I don't remember it, in my 53 years of living, there has never been an inmate that gets sentenced. And in less than 24 hours, they are actually in the TDCJ system. It normally takes at the minimum 2.5 weeks for you to catch the train to go to TDCJ. Or sometimes they take up to 60 days or a year.
Or a year.
How busy they are. And so for him, less than 24 hours after being sentenced, that man was on the chain to go to TDCJ. And I'm going to tell you what happened. I will say this.
Here we go, y'all.
Is that we were paying attention, myself and others, just watching, putting money on his books in the county, make sure he had money, so when he do go, he's able to have money that follows him, because we didn't know what the status of his family's finances would be. Because we knew that as soon as he was convicted, they would take the gifts and go away from them, because that's part of their policy. They take it down and they send all the money to your attorney of record. You don't get the money anymore. And so we knew that. So we started doing that moment, but it was just something in me saying to check all the time. So I was checking every 10 minutes to 30 minutes, just making sure he was still okay.
Watch this, y'all.
To see how people were giving, all those different things. And when I checked, I think it may have been later on that morning, I was checking to see, because someone said they tried to give and it said it was capped for the day. And I was like, well, I think it's $300 or $500. Let me go check. And when I went to go check, he was no longer in the system. He was no longer in the system on commissary, but he was still in the system in his cell, which was infirmary 10. So I was like, well, maybe they have a problem with the system. So I checked back 5 minutes later. And it still showed he was not in the commissary system. So I made a phone call. Somebody else called me right when I was making the phone call saying, hey, bro, he's been transferred. And I'm like, transferred? Yeah, he's on the bus going to Byrd Unit. And when we checked out Byrd Unit, the warden His name was Tallen. I think Tallen Metcalf is his name. And so we were like, oh, no, that ain't happening. So I got on the phone, called a few people, and we started our moment of trying to get him diverted because that was a no-no. I got on the phone to Dominque Alexander. Since people want to talk bad about him, let's talk about what he was doing. Mm-hmm. He was minding his own business and talking.
Yo, look at God. Look at God. I brought up Dominque Alexander last night because it was rumors on the street, and I'm going to continue to play this. But and I remember that I told you last night, viewers, investors, that it was rumors going around that he was the one that pushed that lawyer to the family. This gentleman is going to say, no, he wasn't, y'all. No, he wasn't. But this is confirmed. Look what Dominque Alexander did when he heard the information about Karmelo Anthony already being transported. Look what this brother did. Look what this brother did. Now, y'all, let me tell you one thing. When I heard this part of the interview, and once again, shout out to the creator, fair use. I want to call your name, but I know for sure the trolls are in here. And I know if I call out your channel, the trolls are going to run to your channel to kill the video, to get it taken down. So I will release this because right now, that video is going crazy right now in numbers, and I refuse to share that information with the trolls. But if you know her voice, go out to her channel, come back to this video in 3 days if you haven't found it, and I will give you the channel name. I promise you I will. But this video needs to get out because she did an excellent interview with this special witness. But y'all, when I heard what God was doing in the background, I promise you, I almost fell down to my knees because they were going to set him up and take him out immediately within 24 hours. We was going to get another update that Karmelo Anthony got attacked in prison and is no longer in this world. Y'all, hold one, y'all. Hold one. Y'all, hold one, y'all. Hold one. Oh, man, I hope I don't lock myself out my phone. Let me calm down. Here we go.
Other people. Go ahead, sis.
No, I want to stop you right there because, see, I put pieces of stories together. I heard what you said.
Yes.
And I listened what Dominque said.
Yes.
So what you said was just, that was what he said. Because you told me that you got
and welcome to the channel.
And they called, was it the senators or whoever you called?
Yeah.
But he said, he got on the call, the same thing you said. And that's how connection to know that Dominque was one of the ones that you talked to make sure that baby did not go to that prison.
I want to replay that also. They was just discussing that even a senator got involved to get him rerouted to another prison. So let me start this back over. Only had got 4 minutes into it, and I'm gonna hold my tongue.
That is a lot. So for people calling these people weak and saying all of this, I wouldn't know if I was going or coming. Do you understand what I'm saying? So
correct.
Whatever they doing, my hat goes out to them because that is a lot to deal with. You know what I mean?
It is.
So at least he can go see him. Listen, whenever you get in jail, you don't know if you're going to wake up tomorrow. So please stop saying that. Please stop saying that. So when people say, well, I shouldn't say people say, it was just one idiot, but saying that the father is weak, I'm like, what are we doing? Like, what really are we doing?
I think people don't understand that he has a 35-year sentence. And TDCJ in Texas, this Texas Department of Criminal Justice, when you have a crime which they think that they feel is aggravated, and murder is aggravated, you have to do half. That means he has to do 17 and a half years before he's eligible for parole to leave. And so people don't get that. His family is dealing with that moment. Then when we have to remember in the history of TDCJ, and I'm gonna have to go and refine this in my mind, but I don't remember it in my 53 years of living, there has never been an inmate that gets sentenced And in less than 24 hours, they are actually in the TDCJ system. It normally takes at the minimum 2.5 weeks for you to catch the train to go to TDCJ. Sometimes they take up to 60 days or a year, depending on how busy they are. And so for him, less than 24 hours after being sentenced, that man was on the chain to go to TDCJ. And I'm going to tell you what happened. I will say this, is that we were paying attention, myself and others, just watching, putting money on his books in the county, making sure he had money. So when he do go, he's able to have money that follows him, because we didn't know what the status of his family's finances would be. Because we knew that as soon as he was convicted, they would take the gifts and go away from them, because that's part of their policy. They take it down and they send all the money to your attorney of record. You don't get the money anymore. And so we knew that. So we started doing that moment. But it was just something in me saying to check all the time. So I was checking every 10 minutes to 30 minutes, just making sure he was still okay, checking to see how people were giving, all those different things. And when I checked, I think it may have been later on that morning, I was checking to see, because someone said they tried to give and it said it was capped for the day. And I was like, well, I think it's $300 or $500. Let me go check. When I went to go check, he was no longer in the system. He was no longer in the system on commissary, but he was still in the system in his cell, which was infirmary 10. So I was like, well, maybe they have a problem with the system. So I checked back 5 minutes later, and it still showed he was not in the commissary system. So I made a phone call. Somebody else called me right when I was making the phone call saying, hey, bro, he's been transferred. And I'm like, transferred? Yeah, he's on the bus going to Byrd Unit. And when we checked out Byrd Unit, the warden, his name was Tallen, I think Tallen Metcalf is his name. And so we were like, oh, no, that ain't happening. So I got on the phone, called a few people, and we started our moment of trying to get him diverted, because that was a no-no. I got on the phone to Dominque Alexander, since people want to talk bad about him. Let's talk about what he was doing. He was minding his own business and talking to other people. Go ahead, sis.
No, I want to stop you right there, because, see, I put pieces of stories together. I heard what you said, and I listened what Dominque said. So what you said was just, that was what he said, because you told me that you got on the phone and they called was it the senators or whoever you called, but he said he got on the call the same thing you said. And that's how connection to know that Dominque was one of the ones that you talked to make sure that baby did not go to that prison that had that warden that had the last name Metcalf, because originally it looks like they were trying to send him to a prison where the warden, and I looked that man up, he shows to be Metcalf's brother is what it shows up. They said that that's his brother. So it looks like he was en route to go to that prison, and somehow you, along with Dominque and some others, made sure that didn't happen.
Correct. And Dominque was actually at the courthouse, and he was doing some stuff at the courthouse that day. And so after I got the other calls, we basically touched people from the feds all the way down. I called Dominque. He answered the phone just like that. And I explained to him, hey, this is Dwayne. You know, I advocated for Karmelo. This is what's going on. And he immediately got on the phone, contacted the senator. And in between all of that action, because actually to go to where he's at is on the route on the Bluebird or on the chain to go to Byrd. And so they diverted him to that unit where he's at right today. So, and I'm going to tell you this much, because I did confirm this with some people. There was a hit out on him. So when he got there to Byrd Unit, he was not supposed to be no more. And I'm going to tell you the reason why I know that is because if you listen to Jeff Metcalf when he was doing his interview that same day, around that same time, he said there's street justice, there's some other kind of justice. He said there's karma justice. And then what he said is that there's other justice, and it's coming up. It's coming up soon, and we'll get to that. We'll get to that moment of that street justice, and maybe y'all will see it. He said that. That was during the time that Karmelo was en route to Byrd. So that lets you know, and then I have it on good authority. Once he found out he didn't make it, because they were looking for him when that bus came,
he went crazy.
And Karmelo didn't step off of it. So when he got word that they did not get him, they said Jeff was mad. He was mad for a couple of days, because they thought this was going to end for them, because their ultimate thing is to get rid of Karmelo and for him not to be around no more.
But
that's what their ultimate moment was.
I want to say this though. Here's the deal. People should be careful when they try to do that because it tends to flip back on you. See, you taught your sons to be nasty, and you probably taught them to be a tad bit racist, and now he ain't here no more. You have one. Love him and keep him, because the hole that you dig for people generally is the one that you're going to fall in. And I know what you said ain't a lie, because what I've been told is right now they've been keeping him safe. They're not keeping him safe if it wasn't something that was trying to make him unsafe. So I know that to be true.
Correct. And what they meant for evil has been turned around for good. And I'm just going to tell you that. And just like they publicly talked about what they trying to do, and folks had to tell them from within the walls of TDCJ that they going to go down like that, I'm going to tell you as a person that has been to TDCJ, been to the feds and all of that, both sides, me doing time and also going there helping people and doing the things that we have to do to help our inmates and people who are incarcerated. I'm going to tell you this. There will be no harm come to Karmelo, because people just not going they're not going to stand for it. And I'm talking about from staff, from inmates to whoever. And so he's in good hands until his appeal comes through and he can come on home, because they will overturn this on appeal.
Do y'all hear this? Do you hear this?
Will be okay. And this is
listen, if this man knows enough to speak on the senator and what happened behind the scenes to get his transfer diverted away from the Metcalf Byrd facility where he was the Warden, y'all, he knows what he's talking about. And he just said they're going to keep him safe, from staff down to the inmates, right? They're going to keep him safe until his appeal go through and he comes home. He said, because this will be overturned. I hope I ain't got his words right, but y'all heard what I just heard. This got 1 more minute and 30 seconds in this video, and this particular video is over.
We have to know that one thing, the scriptures say all things work together for the good of them. And we have to understand that sometimes these bad things happen to us, to where we can learn and be a testament for others. And there's great things on Karmelo. There's great things that he has in his life. Yes. But there's also good gifts and great things that they seen that they were trying to snuff out.
Yes.
And the one thing we know that they can't. And because his work that he set up to do, this is part of that testimony. This is part of that moment. And we're going to accept that, but we're going to do our part to protect them.
Yes, we are.
And if it takes me having to have a little discomfort for the past year and some change, then that's what that is. Because I would want somebody to do the same thing for my grandkids.
Yes.
I want somebody to do the same thing for my great nieces and nephews.
Yes.
I would want them to do the same for just my neighbor's kids.
Yes.
And so we have to step up for some time and be that catalyst, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it hurts, because it's been painful. But it's worth it to see that young man and know that he's okay.
Yes.
Now, one other thing, because I know you got to get going. One of the things you said is, and you didn't say it like this, but I noticed what you meant. They was jealous of him, and I hate using that word.
Wow, listen.
But they were jealous of him. I don't remember if it was you or somebody else. It may have been you. What was said to him in court?
Oh, hold on. If you're texting me, just hold off for a little second. Hold off a little bit.
During the, after you are found guilty, they get the alleged victims. I'm calling them alleged victims. I don't believe.
Okay, so that was it right there. Hold on. Let me go to the comments. Y'all. That right there, once you get, like I said, in her video, the first 53 minutes, she's giving her commentary and she's pulling up old news footage about the family, what Hunter said, and she's just giving her commentary on it. Awesome commentary. And then he comes on the scene around the 53-yard minute mark of that video. So I think he speaks from the 53-minute mark all the way past, I'm gonna say, I'm pretty sure he does about an hour and 10 minutes of just good information back to back. back to back. And respect for the content creator, of course, I wasn't gonna slip everything because I want you to go support her video tonight, which is why I came on early, so you can leave this video and go watch the video and give her some commentary, right? But y'all, the bombshells that is coming out of this. Okay, the next video ain't nothing but under 4 minutes, and then the last one is 1 minute. But before I go into that, let me go to the comments. And thank you so much to the new investors. Did you see where the later correctional officer got fired? No, I need to check the story, but she made a post that she made sure no, please. Hey, and thank you for being a new investor. Thank you so much, because I locked down this live today where only the subscribers could comment like I always do. And thank you so much just for hitting that button to subscribe to share this information with us. But thank you so much. But I may need to do some research. Yes, that is bold. That is very bold. Yes. They thought that they had this whole underground system that they could enforce and activate just to find him guilty. They went through all that to find him guilty, right? Get him sentenced in the same day. They said, y'all, the judge held court on Saturday, something that he's never done in the history of being a judge. He held court on Saturday and he told the jury, get this done as soon as possible. Whoa. You can't force the jury to do nothing. That is another violation of the constitutional right as a juror. The judge cannot impact the verdict either way. Oh my gosh. This man is going to be disbarred, right? But y'all, okay, let me keep going. Yes, Mel. Wow, but God, yes, absolutely. Revenge is the yes. Revenge is the Lord's. Yes. How you doing, Michelle? Lord have mercy. You're right. Listen, I hope y'all know her voice. I know that is trolls in the room. I don't want to put her name, but you know her voice. Her initials is LLTV. She has the video, y'all. This is her interview with the special guest named Dwayne. Hey, how you doing, Tiffany Wills? Nancy Grace is mad at Blake. I don't care what she mad at. Listen, I don't care what she's mad at. She needs to be mad at, if she's mad at anything, and welcome, New Vesta, she needs to be mad at Collins County, Judge Roach, the DA, and also the defense attorney, who also should get disbarred on how he handled that young man's case if you his counsel. Because even the family said after that, it said, I don't care what Nancy Grace feels like. I don't care. I don't care. I haven't liked Nancy Grace since I remember in the 1990s what she did to Michael Jackson. And thank you for that information. So it's not about you. My passion is not about you. I'm probably scaring away the new investors and viewers, but I don't care what Nancy, because I remember what she did to Michael Jackson. I remember to what Nancy Grace did to Michael Jackson, and I still have PTSD regarding that. So I don't care what Nancy Grace and how she gonna be mad at black people, because we have a right to defend ourselves. She needs to be mad at for everybody that has suppressed evidence and did not even allow all the videos and the evidence to be admissible into court. So she'll get over it. But thank you so much, Tiffany Wheels. Thank you. It's a blotch trial. Yes. The judge swayed. Yes. And guess what? I think the jury was already, I'm going to say it allegedly based off what I'm hearing, that, hey, I think they already had their mind up, because even the judge tried to throw on the table manslaughter, which was a lower charge. The jury said, nah, you keep that. It's going to be first degree. I'm trying to tell you. Yes, God always has a chain of plans, especially when you're messing with them. Do y'all see why? I didn't even know all this went on last week when I heard the verdict. And when I made the connection between what Shedeur Sanders went with, I had to go through last week, being a child of God. Look at, also, I'm using my platform to also speak up for another child of God. And I may never meet this young man, but his destiny and my destiny, I'm trying to tell you, is tied together. I did not, for some reason, as I said, Shedeur Sanders may have activated this channel in the community, but I'm going to use my platform for Shedeur Sanders and for any other young black man or woman that falls into this type of issue. And I know they being railroaded. I know they being railroaded. I know they being railroaded. Karmelo Anthony. Whoo! Let me calm down. Let me calm down. Should not even said that. Welcome. I don't know what you mean. Zone out entertainment. I'm not sure. Nancy Grace also get paid to, right? She does. Yes, she does. Echo that media. Yes, she does. They didn't remain professional. Lies. Praise God. Yes, praise God. Praise God. Hallelujah to his name. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you, sister. Yes, I got 2 more clips because I want y'all to go out and support LLTV's channel. If you know her voice, you know her channel. And if you don't know her voice, just come back in 3 days because I don't want the trolls to go to her channel and kill the video. But if you know her voice, you know her voice. Okay. This video is under 4 minutes. And then I got one under 1 minute and then I'm gonna let you go. Okay. Here we go.
That it was so much until Karmelo was sitting there and he said, just imagine a wet puppy dog that just got beat by their owner, left out in the cold in the middle of the street. They said that's how he was looking because he had his head down, he was shaking, and it was just a beratement of him. They were calling him, like you said, boy, calling him all kind of things. Dude said they were calling him stuff he can't repeat. And so, hold
on, I'm gonna replay this again. Now, remember when the family said, either the mother and the father said this last week, that their lawyer, their own lawyer that they paid money to, only objected, had one ejection out of the whole entire case. So this man here was in the courtroom. You mean to tell the lawyer when he heard people berate Karmelo Anthony with these labels and terms, the lawyer didn't get up and say nothing? Let me start this over. I'm not going to stop it no more, but I just want to set the tone. You mean to tell me the lawyer didn't stand up and said, I object, Your Honor, you're badgering my witness or the defendant? Really? Listen, y'all.
It was so much until Karmelo was sitting there and he said, just imagine a wet puppy dog that just got beat by their owner, left out in the cold in the middle of the street. They said that's how he was looking because he had his head down, he was shaking, and it was just a beratement of him. They were calling him, like you said, boy, calling him all kind of things. Dude said they were calling him stuff he can't repeat. And so it was just a beratement of Karmelo Anthony in the courtroom after because it was all about tearing down this young man that they were jealous of. And I'm telling you, they were jealous because all of the kids that were involved, one of the kids that were involved wasn't even there. So I think he was suspended, so he couldn't be there. We have to remember that Hunter and Austin was suspended as well. We know that Austin and Hunter wasn't even part of the team no more because the coach testified that he kicked them off the team because they chose to go hunting or go fishing instead of coming to a meet.
So did y'all hear what he said? And I'm not going to stop it no more. But he's saying before this track meet, Hunter and Austin was already kicked off of the track team. So they really didn't even belong there under the tent themselves. And remember, Karmelo Anthony was invited under the tent. I want to call the student's name. I don't know if he's 18 or not, so I'm not going to put the student's name out there, but his name has already been released to the public. Is the one that called Anthony under the tent as a so-called friend, but once he got to the stands, he said he didn't even know Karmelo Anthony. I said, what? Let me keep playing this.
So we knew that. So they weren't even supposed to be there. But they were also jealous of this young man because of his family status and how he was raised. He was working. People forget he worked at Foot Locker. He had another job. He had just got hired at HEB. So this young man was following his father's footsteps of providing and working while I'm doing school, while I'm doing all those things. He also had many of offers to football and track. So he was on his way to do things right. But he was also a ladies' man. He was friendly. Everybody liked him. And so that was the thing that people did not like about him. So EP and all these kids were jealous of him. The Metcalf twins, they just don't like nobody. They just love the bully. And so if it was an opportunity to bully, they were down for it. And so it was a perfect storm of idiotic people to come up to Karmelo, who said in his own mind and spirit, I'm going to get back home at all costs. And that's what all of our kids should be thinking, that regardless of what the situation is, my mama sent me out, my daddy sent me out, I'm going to do whatever I got to do to get back home. And we'll deal with the rest later on. And that's what Karmelo did. And so we just have to stand up and step up for him, because right now that nobody else is stepping up for him but his family and a few of us that are on here, that are around. And I love, people keep saying that people are coming on the tail end. I think that everybody has their purpose. The ambulance chasers, as they call them, all of them have their purpose. We wouldn't know about Judge Roach unless Candace Matthews come later and tell us what she said. And so we have to let everybody do their part and be who they are. Charleston White, he went rogue.
Listen.
Guess what they're doing to him right now in Fort Worth? They are actually protesting him at the hotel he stayed at. So guess what? Do their part and be who they are. Charleston White, he went rogue. Guess what they're doing to him right now in Fort Worth? They are actually protesting him at the hotel he stayed at. So guess what? You gotta let somebody, hold your peace and let the Lord fight your battle. Victory will be yours. And that goes as well for people, because if you hold your peace, somebody else gonna fight your battle. And that's what's happening right now for the Anthonys. They have people they don't even know fighting against Charleston right now because he berated them. And so that's what we have to do, is concentrate on Karmelo, making sure he's at peace, making sure he has the things he needs, making sure that whoever this appellant attorney is going to be, if not, we need to get somebody to step up and get with the family so they can go in there and get this case overturned so he can get back home and he can learn from this experience and he can become that lawyer that he wants to be.
And Karmelo had, 30 scholarships, 20 scholarships? I know I saw
21
scholarships.
21. He's going to be a hell of a lawyer, especially after going through this. Now, one of the other things that I wanted you to...
Did y'all know that Karmelo Anthony was going to go to school to become a lawyer? He was going to go to school to become a lawyer. Once that young man gets out and get his life together and get his mind right and just release all the pressure that what he's went through, and once he's able to focus in college, just imagine the powerful lawyer that he's going to be for the community. Lord have mercy. It's no telling what is wrapped up in his destiny for the community. It's no telling what the enemy saw in this young man, and they tried to suppress that at a young age. Y'all, what if it comes out that Austin Metcalf, he didn't pass away because of what they said, they call it a puncture wound. They didn't call it a stabbing. They said a puncture wound. What if it comes out that he passed away because his heart could not deal with the strenuous pressure because of the incident that he started up in the fans? Isn't that ironic? Y'all, I hope once the appeal, and brother and sister, I got you. Regarding the appeal, I got you. I'm going to come in on that. But if this case is thrown out totally, where double jeopardy is not allowed, this case cannot be retried without prejudice, that means we may never know, unless we get a copy of all the court transcripts, what really happened. But if this case is retried after the appeal is approved or won, and if this has to be retried, hopefully the next judge will allow the media in with cameras, with news footage, so we can understand and realize that the second trial, if that is destined to be, that he would definitely have a fair trial. That's all we're fighting for the trolls and the haters in the room. That's all we're fighting for, and also fighting for the right to be allowed to self-defense. Self-defense if anybody comes to attack us, because even as United States citizens, even though you don't believe that Black Americans, the foundation of this land, that we do not have the right for equal justice as Black Americans, you have another thing coming. We have the right to fair counsel, proper counsel, we have the right to defend ourselves, and self-defense is not a crime. Self-defense is not a crime. If it's not a crime for white America, if it's not a crime for Asian America, if it's not a crime for Hispanics, if it's not a crime for the Asians, the whites, or anybody else, it's definitely not a crime for Black Americans. It's not a crime for Black Americans, and we will not sit down. We're not going to let this thing go. And if this your first time over here, we are going to hold on to this case like we're holding on for Shedeur Sanders to get a second chance in the NFL this year. And I know one, the apple don't have nothing to do with the orange, but in both cases, injustices was done for both young men, and also Taylen Green. Also for Taylen Green. Let me go ahead and play this one last clip, and then I'm gonna let you go, Vestas. I'm gonna let you go. One last clip, under 1 minute.
Some of his real estate guys have actually helped get me in trouble during this venture, and I'll talk about that another time. But they're all part of that moment. And so since that's the case, they all had an express motivation to do what they did to Karmelo. Because if you really investigate this case, Hunter, EP, who was Eddie, the guy that testified, Chris, Ant, I'll just say his nickname, Ant, and a few others will be the ones in jail for the murder of Austin Metcalf, because that's how the law reads in Texas. And if you're during the commission of a felony and you call and one of the people, the perpetrators, are unalive, at that point in time, all of you become guilty of that greater crime, which is the unaliving or the murder. Yeah. I said that.
Let me play that again, and then we'll go to the comments and end the show so you can go out and watch the video. Let me play that again. That is a perfect ending for this live. Let me play this last clip.
Some of his real estate guys have actually helped get me in trouble during this venture, and I'll talk about that another time. But they're all part of that moment. And so since that's the case, they all had an express motivation to do what they did to Karmelo. Because if you really investigate this case, Hunter, EP, who was Eddie, the guy that testified, Chris, Ant, I'll just say his nickname, Ant, and a few others will be the ones in jail for the murder of Austin Metcalf, because that's how the law reads in Texas. And if you're during the commission of a felony and you call and one of the people, the perpetrators, are unalive, at that point in time, all of you become guilty of that greater crime, which is the unaliving or the murder. Yeah. I said that.
There we go. So let me go here. Let me go here and I'm gonna let y'all go real quick so y'all can go watch this video. You know her voice. If not, I pray you find the video and then come back in 3 days and I'll go ahead and let you know who that is. But I don't want the trolls to go over there and mess with that video because it is getting a lot of people's attention right now. But you know her voice. Let me go over here. God always has a change of plans. Yes, I heard that in a correction officer. I got to do my research on that right there. Let's see. Where did I stop? Here we go. Okay. Okay. You don't care about Nancy Gray. I surely don't care nothing about it either. He won't need approval for appeal. You signed one after found guilty. So let me show you this. This is what I covered the other night. So as a matter of fact, I covered this last night and I just was pull this up while that video was ending. Let me pull this up to the stage. So I covered last night that they actually did the appeal on the 9th and it was filed on the 10th of this month. So let me go here. So I just Googled this. What is the legal term to get appeals approved? So this is what AI said. To get an appeal approved, right? The specific legal term that I'm looking for is to have the lower court decision reversed or vacated. So there it is. So the intent of the appeal is to get the guilty charge reversed or vacated. So thank you for that. You are correct, Wilson. This is the legal term, so I'm going to use the legal term moving forward. An appellate court does this if you successfully argue that the lower court made a reversal error, which is a mistake of law or a clear factual error that changes the case outcome. Listen, based off everything that we covered, the improper change of venue, the jury selection, the tainted jury selection, it is so tainted. Just by that alone, it should be a mistrial. Just by that alone, it should be a mistrial. Besides suppressing of the evidence, not exhibiting all the evidence, it's just been so many fallacies. You know what the issue was with this case right here? They were so aggressive in trying to get him guilty. They made so many mistakes in trying to put him in that grave that they dug. And also another theory is the reason why all of the character witness changed their cases or their statements, because if it found out that they were part of jumping Karmelo Anthony and it resulted in someone being alive, that's when it comes to that term of commission of felony. All of those students will be going to jail. And also, I didn't clip this, but go back to her video. And I think it was said when Karmelo Anthony told the law enforcement that he did this in self-defense, everybody involved supposed to have been handcuffed and brought down to the station to be questioned why that wasn't done. But let me read this right here regarding the appeal, and I'm gonna keep read the comments. I'm gonna let you go. So regarding the appeal, okay, instead of a magic word, it's talking to me. Winning an appeal requires proving specific legal grounds to the appellate court. These are the conditions: error of law, arguing the judge misunderstood or misapplied the law, statute, or constitutional rights. This alone by default should definitely get winning an appeal. Okay, now look at this: abuse of discretion. This is something else on how you can win an appeal, proving specific legal grounds. Abuse of discretion, arguing that the judge's decision was so arbitrary, unreasonable, and that it clearly violates justice. Y'all, we can go home just on this right here: abuse of discretion. Okay, and it's plain and palpable error. This is another one: arguing there was a clear, obvious, factual, and procedure mistake that unfairly influenced the outcome of the trial. Once again, these are three specific, and I'm pretty sure it's more. These are three specific legal grounds in winning an appeal in an appellate court: error of the law, arguing that the judge misunderstood or applied the law, statute, or constitutional rights; abuse of discretion, arguing that the judge's decision was so arbitrary, unreasonable, and that it clearly violates justice; and plain and palpable error, arguing there was a clear, obvious, factual, and procedural mistake that unfairly influenced the outcome. It is what it is. Vessels and viewers, what I'm gonna do, this screenshot I just took, come back to my post and under my channel in 30 minutes, and you're gonna read exactly what I said. So the intent is to get the appeal, the court's decision, reversed or vacated. And Lord, I hope this whole entire thing is thrown out. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Let me see. Other God keeps Karmelo Anthony covered and shield. Amen. Amen. Amber said, I really don't follow the trial, but it was so painful. But while I understand, they should have hired Crump. Well, I heard that Crump, I heard he can't take every course. I would have loved for them to hire Benjamin Crump, but I don't even know if he's licensed in Texas. You have to be licensed in the states in order to try a particular case. So I totally agree with you, Echo That Media, but I don't know if he has licenses in Texas. Not sure. Benjamin Crump, but is Benjamin Crump? I gotta research him. 100%. What's up, 420? Pray for Karmelo protection. Those white folks want revenge. There are some black folks, right? I don't get that. I don't get that, but it is. But it definitely is. That's why I said to the Anthony family, please make sure whoever lawyer, because Bootsy Badass, he donated $500,000. I think Taraji P. Henson, I think she's gonna donate $1 million. This is what I'm hearing on the social media. I don't know if it's true or not. And I also heard that 50 Cent is going to donate also. I'm gonna play that, then I'll let you go. I need to remind myself to play that. So I heard that the money is coming in and people are trying to find other avenues to donate to the legal team. And y'all, all prayers to God, all prayers to God. They said it's pictures of the little boy, right, that said he didn't know him in a family setting. Yeah, I think that's the only thing that the lawyer objected on, which was crazy. Charleston White gets on my last nerve. Yes, he does, Amber. Attorney Benjamin Cunt should do the pro bono if he has license in Texas, and he will. I need to find out if he has licenses in Texas. Mel said my position as well. I just knew the case. Right. I didn't know that this case was going to end up like this. And I'm with you, Tony. Y'all still. No, I haven't. I didn't even know that Nancy Grace was still on her news channel or podcast or whatever she is. I didn't know that. Is a civil rights attorney. Gotcha. Right. Yes, Mel, that's a different county. This trial was held in, should have been in Dallas. Right. They even moved the change of venues improperly, y'all. Just right there. They throw that out. They should throw this out. Just throw this out. Just close the case immediately. It's so much egregious stuff. Surely some rights were violated. A lot of rights were violated. They moved the case. They changed the venue without going through the proper process. That alone, besides the jury suppressing evidence, that alone should be a mistrial. Dallas has 30 black, 30. Okay. And I agree. I totally agree. Y'all, I looked at the demographics for Collins and Denton. I did it by demographics. Believe it or not, Collins County had about, I'm going to say over 60% of whites. Blacks range was like 11 to 12%. And then I looked up the different demographics category for whites. It was about, let's say 50 to 53%. It had a significant Asian community in both Collins and Denton. And even in Denton, they only had roughly about, let's say 12 to 16% blacks, but that was it. I was shocked that was it. Where's the evidence of self-defense, moron? There is not. Who you talking to? Who you talking to? Who are you? Are you talking to me? Hold on. Wait. Whoa. Are you talking to me? See, I would be able to tell you that because I know you talking to me. I would be able to tell you, the other moron that's on the side of this camera here. I would be able to tell you that this is the evidence, but I can't tell you that because they have suppressed the video from getting out to the public. Now, you, the moron on the other side of this camera, you should ask yourself, if Karmelo Anthony was as guilty as charged, where is the video? They won't even show the video. Well, y'all tripping. Where's the evidence of self-defense? Listen, you go ahead and let the court show that video and make sure you come back to Tony Talks Vested Up Compelling Sports Edge, moron. Boy, y'all are funny. They suppressing the evidence of self-defense. Good gracious. Shedeur didn't even do nothing wrong. Right. People are bogus. And we just saw one in this room. Bogus. Someone apparently not like the discussion yesterday and decided to get their zest to get a zesty keyboard ninjas. I'm trying to tell you, I had one troll yesterday by the name of Geronimo go try to bring up that watermelon felon. Man, I hope after I told him up he had to go eat some watermelon. These people crazy. Yes, Tony, I agree with you that Taylen Metcalf, name again with a T, Metcalf, was not related to Jeff Metcalf. I did not believe that when I heard that, and I did not believe it because it was too far to be. Well, matter of fact, I'm gonna look that up after this live here because I want y'all to go out and support that video. I'm gonna look up that Byrd facility and Metcalf. I'm gonna see what I come up with tomorrow. I found out that one of the January 6ers was in the waiting to harm Karmelo. It found y'all see what I'm saying? There is something special about this young man. And to the moron, I hope you're still in this room. There is something special about this young man. You got people want to harm him because he practiced self-defense. What is wrong with self-defense? So if you're black, you can't execute self-defense. I beg the difference. I beg the difference. As a military veteran, I pride myself of that because we are taught to defend. I beg the difference. They arrested him. Good, Destin. And how you doing, Destin? How you doing? We don't use the moron right here. Yeah, that fool, y'all can go in and block him or her, whoever that is. We don't use the word moron. These people crazy. Check out this guy who saw the tape. Hey, I think that, matter of fact, that's who I'm playing. His name is Dwayne. That's who I'm playing. So if y'all know the content creator, do not put that video link in here. I don't want the trolls to go to it and try to bring down that video. So if you know who she is, go ahead and support the video. Sister, I couldn't find. Sister, I couldn't have found a better channel than yours, my sister. And I mean it from the bottom. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Terry Jackson, and all of my vestors. But listen to the trolls. Hey, sometimes I let y'all breathe, but when y'all come in here and start being disrespectful, that's something totally different. You got to get out of here. You have to get out of here. And for you, moron, if you would have just been listening to everything instead of just coming in here and jumping in here with that asinine, as Money Man said, asinine comment, you would have realized that the evidence to show self-defense is being suppressed. It was never allowed in the courtroom. Y'all, even Elon Musk, to the moron, even Elon Musk saying, release the video. Let us see the video. Elon Musk said that, y'all. But thank you so much, Terry Jackson. Do it, Lord. Come on, Meter Lee. Benjamin Crump, yes, his law firm handles cases in Texas. Okay, thank you so much, Lady E, and has Texas office, including Houston, Dallas, Fresco, yes, and other Texas service areas. His firm advertises Texas personal law. So I need to know if he does criminal cases. Because if he had, if that's the case, somebody need to be, and who did they say? Candace Matthews have already provided the family a list of attorneys for them to choose and vet their own lawyer, which is awesome. Praying for the reversal of Karmelo Anthony. Yes, Destin. Yes. Benjamin Crump Law has offices to handle cases. I need to find out if they handle criminal cases. How you doing, Philly Blunt? Thank you so much. I enjoy you and your chat. Thank you so much, Philly. Thank you so much, Philly. This is the last chat that I see. So I want y'all after this go out and please go to her channel and watch the video because it's so much information. I barely got through, I think maybe 40 minutes, y'all, and it's some more information. Karmelo Anthony's case. Benjamin Crump has been involved publicly as a civil rights attorney and advocate in many high-profile cases, but the day-to-day criminal defense in a Texas criminal case. Okay, I'm gonna talk to you behind the scenes, and I got to look that up myself, y'all. Sylvester's, I've been on here almost 2 hours. I want you to go out and support her channel. Please let her know that Tony Talks Vested Up sent you over there and she did an awesome job. And I got to contact her myself to let her know that I use her content in an audible fashion, and I'm gonna make sure I do her right. I do her right behind the scenes. But thank you so much. I don't think Benjamin Crump does criminal, and I think somebody brought that up too when somebody brought up his name, that he doesn't do these type of cases. But I'm definitely gonna find out, and tomorrow I'll be back either at 6:45 or 7:45, depending on if there are major updates in the case. So, investors and viewers, thank you so much for the night. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Make sure and be reminded that we stay vested up over here 365 degrees. And this is why I stay vested up at all times. We don't know what is going on spiritually or physically that may, oh gosh, they may come in our life to challenge us in ways that we did not see. So until next time, hold on. May be handled by attorneys who are licensed in Texas. Criminal defendants often have local Texas counsels representing them in court. Gotcha. I'm about to look that up. So until next time, make sure you get your notes, your drink, and your vest, because we stay vested up over here 365 degrees at Tony Talks Vested Up Compelling Sports Edge. Thank you so much, investors and viewers. Thank you to all the new viewers and investors. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please go out and support her video now, please, or when you can, before the haters find out who she is and try to take down that video. All right, investors, I'm gonna let you go. Thank you so much for all your support and your love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Jasmine Crockett, she is in Texas, right? I need to, golly. I'm gonna write all this down. I'm gonna come back tonight. I need to see. I'm pretty sure she's been very vocal about this case, and I need to follow her too, along with Candace Matthew, and to see if the Benjamin Crump, Texas, if any of his offices does anything regarding criminal cases. So I got a lot of homework to do. But thank you, investors, for all of the input. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, investors. All right.